This is a true life story of my journey into joining one of the deadliest cult groups in Nigeria. This story is not meant to encourage cultism, but to open our eyes into the dangers of cultism in the society. I was 19 when I got admission into the Delta State University, Abraka, to study geology. I had a cousin I had to put up with due to accommodation issues, as my parents were poor and couldn't afford it at the time. They had to borrow to pay my fees and acceptance fees. Reading geology was very expensive as I had to pay for field works, books and other materials. I struggled through my first year into my second year. My cousin then dropped out of school due to financial issues. I was left all alone in Abraka and I made new friends. I had a girlfriend in school called Joy. Joy was also dating a cultist, a member of the Vikings. I got a call one day from Joy that I should come to her hostel so we can pass the night together. She told me she had prepared my favorite food and I rushed down like a hungry lion. I got to her house and we had a good time and even sex. At about 9 p.m. in the evening, I heard a loud bang on her door and I asked who was the person. "You dey craze? Now you get the room? Joy, come out, I won't see you." That was the voice I heard behind the door. I looked at the time and it was late in the night. I picked up my phone to call a friend to come get me as I sensed danger, but unfortunately, my battery went flat. I then sat down in the room and she assured me that all will be fine. She went out to meet the guy and they argued loudly and some other boys came in and joined them. The next thing I heard was, "A roommate, wetin dey happen?" Immediately I knew I was in trouble. She came back in and was shouting at them and screaming from inside. "I know one friend again now by force." I told her I wanted to leave and she said I shouldn't leave, that it was safer to stay inside than go out that night. I told her it's better to leave than staying indoors and that they could burgle the door at night pretending to be robbers and shoot me. I gathered courage and left, and immediately I got outside, I saw 5 fierce-looking men and I ran for my life. They chased after me and stabbed me. I managed to escape with the injury. The next day, I reported to the police station and arrests were made. The policemen that came for the raid were surprisingly Vikings members. They made arrests and released them that same day. I then called my brother and narrated all that happened. He brought in policemen from Asaba and by then, it was too late as the guys had to leave town. Joy was picked up and she was asked to make her statement. Joy couldn't spell simple words like come, night, and she doesn't even understand the word paragraph. The policeman in charge of the case looked at me and said, "So now because of this girl, they won't bust your head. See your life." 2 months after the incident, I was sitting outside my house and about 3 of the Vikings gang members came to me and started threatening me. "You get mine, Abi? You go call police for us. We go kill you today." They attacked me and injured me for the second time. I rushed back to the police station and some of the Viking police came to me and I explained all that happened. "Leave that girl alone. You know the hear word. You could just kill yourself for nothing." I told them I no longer date the girl and also narrated what happened, and the reason for the second attack was that I reported to the police. I immediately got a lawyer and we copied the police commissioner and also the divisional police officer of Abraka police station. The threats increased. I started getting death threats from them and even civil defense members who were part of the Vikings gang started threatening me. I then ran to the school hostel to stay with a friend. I had to stay with a friend for over 2 months and then I ran into an old friend and I explained everything to him. He then said I should meet him up at a popular bush bar in Abraka in the night and they will help me. I visited him that night at the bar and I met other guys sitting down with him and I greeted them. I purchased drink for them and explained everything that happened. They then asked me to go back home to stay and they would see me the next day. I went back home and the Vikings boys came around and said I should go and pay for the drinks they took for 2 weeks. I resisted and they started slapping me. I had no choice than to pay. I also fetched water for them that night. The next day, my friend came around and the other guys. They came around and warned them never to touch me again or collect money from me. Arguments started between them and the next thing I heard was, "Are you Axeman?" Immediately, the Vikings gang members started leaving the scene and they left completely. I was surprised and one of them said to me, "We no go fit help you do anything because you be Jew." 2 weeks after my friend came with his cult members and warned the Viking members to stay clear from my path, a serious war came up between Vikings and the Black Axe cult group. I was in school and I had just finished lecture in petrology when a friend told me 2 Viking members were shot dead just outside the school gate and they were among the Vikings that terrorized me. I was shocked and I refused leaving the school premises even after we finished all lectures for the day. I feared like mad. My friend called me and asked my whereabouts. I told him I was still in school reading. "Reading, Bao?" He He then rushed down immediately with some guys and took me to Asaba, as members of the Vikings confraternity were looking for me because they concluded that I was a member of the New Black Movement of Africa. To avoid mistaken identity, I had to run with him. I was in Asaba for 3 weeks and the fight was still on. A policeman was also shot dead as he was a member of the Viking Scout group. One of the Black Axe members received a call in the morning of the next day, and the call came from his girlfriend. The report was that the Viking Sword group got hold of the girl and they threatened to kill her if she doesn't reveal the whereabouts of his boyfriend. The Axe man became furious and started shouting, "Who them be make them they threaten my CRO? Bloody pagas them." He then made a call to his fellow Axemen in Obiaruku that he needs guns and pellets. Instead, they provided him with shotguns and cartridges. He left for Obiaruku to pick them up and headed straight to Abraka to fight the boys. He calls himself one-man squad and he was respected among the Black Axe members. Immediately he got to Abraka, he made some calls to some of his men still in town and they told him to come to Campus 3 main gate. Immediately he got to main gate. 3 men came out in a bike and shot him dead in front of the main gate, and that was how he ended up. We later discovered the whole thing was a setup and his girl was a member of the Vikings and they used her to set him up. My exam was fast approaching and no end in sight to the war, and my absence from hostel made it look like I was a member of the Black Axe as the Vikings members were looking for me. A week to my exams, they called for a peace talk and the matter was settled with cash for all those lives lost. I came back and wrote my exams after missing classes and attendance registers. My CGPA dropped drastically from 4.6 to 4.2. Axemen returned to campus and things normalized. Immediately after the exams, I got a call from my Axe friend that the girl the Viking members used for the setup was dead. How far, paddy? We don't drop that girl we set Junior up. The story was that they followed her home, tied her hands and legs to her reading chair and inserted a boiling ring inside her private part. Eventually, she fried up and died in her room. Time came for one-man squad to be buried. I attended the burial ceremony and met other Axemen. They observed a ceremony known as breaking of metals. This is a ceremony strictly for fallen Axemen and also a time to pay final respect. I heard words like Obote, Obina, Obi of Agbo, you go lose guard your back for fire. I asked the meaning and my friend said he can't tell me the meaning of those words since I am a Jew man. He said it's called gross misconduct if you reveal NBM's orientation to a Jew. We got home and I still begged to know the meaning of those words. He then told me in private saying the words Obote, Obi, Obina means the same thing. It actually means an Axeman who is or was careless with his life. They blamed him for attempting to go for a hit alone. I left for holidays and came back to campus after a month for resumption. My friend then came up to me with a guy. They came to my house and they talked about sharing formula and all that in percentage terms. After the other guy left, I asked my share and he said he would give me a little from it and I was happy. He said the other guy that came with him is a member of the Vikings, but they are good friends and business partners. I was shocked and asked if it was not the same Viking squad group that killed his best friend Aruba. He laughed and said forget that matter, na money we define, who die don't die. He then said I should follow him to his hostel to get some things. We got to his room and I saw a pair of yellow stockings. They were new pairs and I pleaded to have them. He then gave me the stockings and told me to wear them. I started wearing yellow stockings in school all around town without understanding the implications of my actions. I wore them to the beach one very sunny Sunday and a guy walked up to me and called me out from my peers. I followed him and he asked me a particular question. How far, paddy, you dey play 7? I was confused and I replied him instantly. Bros, I don't understand wetin be 7. I received a blow straight to my nose and before I could regain myself, I was bleeding so fast. They collected my phone, wallet and I had school fee scratch cards inside my wallet. My guys took me to a nearby pharmacy and I was treated. I hurried up to see my friend to explain what had happened to him. I met him at home and explained everything to him. He was mad and angry and went straight to the beach the next day. We got to the beach and we couldn't find the guys. They disappeared with my phone and school fees card. He then started making calls and I couldn't retrieve my items. If to say you be strong man now, all these things for no they happen to you. I left school for home for proper medical care as my nose was swollen. I came back to campus after a week and the guys that took my wallet saw me again at the bar with a friend and ordered me to get them drinks. I had just 2k on me and I used that to order them drinks. I sneaked out to call my friend to let him know that the guys that collected my phone are with me. Wetin you want make I do? Make I go meet Egedeme and collect your things back? You be Jew, my guy. I no fit collect your things back for you. If to say na Eye or Vikings collect am, I for try collect them back for you. But na my brothers collect am, and so I no fit help you guy. Try understand me. I felt so bad and weak and left the bar. The next day, I called my friend and told him I was ready to be a member of the new black movement. He jumped up and said, now you dey talk. He said I need to get the form and the form will cost me 15,000 naira. I told him to give me time to raise the funds and he agreed. I was able to raise the funds and I gave it to him. Correct man, you go give me black and white passport, no worry, I go soon carry you enter Jolly. He uttered in silence and left immediately. This was the beginning of my journey into joining one of the deadliest cult groups in Nigeria. Stay tuned for the next episode guys, and don't forget to subscribe and share this video. Thank you.